train is running.
And I'll say Evan. That's good. You're score, but I don't have to. It's a win.
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins
And we won. It was amazing.
Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number 1.
Well, look who's back. It's Bobby and Fish Tank Hank with Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I am feeling better. Fish Tank is back from Hard Rock from last weekend. Fish Tank, before we get the ball rolling here, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. You know, see, people are being shocked with that beard thing with you, though. You know, I told you that thing gone. It just like set me back for a second.
Oh, that's right. Rob hasn't seen me. I know Evan almost had a heart attack yesterday on our new hockey show, and then Fish Tank had the jump scare when the camera turned on. So yes, well, as everyone knows, who is especially if you're involved with the channel, I haven't been on most of the shows. I just recently I haven't been on because I was dealing with a bad head cold for a couple weeks, and I was sneezing and coughing and everything, and I was like, oh, I just yucked out. So I was I just said, you know what, I'm gonna take it all off, and it'll grow back in a couple weeks. So it's a fresh look. I look like I'm back in college again. I look younger again.
Yeah.
Or so my children say. So
yeah, I thought you were going through puberty for a second time or something.
Yeah, no more white beard or nothing. I look like I actually look my age, but no, it's a nice fresh look. I feel cold. Not gonna lie, just got over cold, but my face is cold. I have to put the blanket over my face at night now. But oh my goodness. First Steve, then Bobby, Brett will shine. Yeah, that's right. It's always a shock. But hey,
but me,
so much to.
I'm doing good. I didn't do good at the Hard Rock though.
Right? You went down to Hard Rock Casino.
I mean, I think I was up to about 1,500, and then I gave it back.
Yeah. I learned from my mother via my great grandfather, and I kind of taken that when I never went to casino till I went to Miami Hialeah Casino, and went to those, but was whatever you go in and whatever you win, take out and pocket, and then whatever you have left, just continue playing that, and that way when you leave, you're leaving with something. So that's always been like my thing when I go in there. I always have that. So if I don't follow that, then I feel guilty because then I think, oh my gosh, my grandfather's watching down on me. I feel like it's like, damn, I messed up. But anyway, Fish Tank, so much to talk about. A lot of stuff going down in South Florida, not just the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals or the Florida Panthers who play tonight in the Stanley Cup Final, but in Game 1, the Miami Dolphins, they've started OTAs, and what's great, it's June 3rd. It's June 3rd, Fish Tank. What does that mean? That means Byron Jones, bye-bye, 13.6 million. Hello, how you doing? We got some extra cap space, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to touch on that today, and talk about what Miami could possibly do with that money. They did sign 3 of their rookies, A-Chain. They didn't sign Cam Smith. He's still out. He's still available. They're working on the extension for Christian Wilkins. So we're waiting on that. But before we start anything, Fish Tank, I want to start on a more somber note. And
Yes,
I want
sir.
to talk about one of our own, and by one of our own, I mean a part of the Dolphins community, was Eric Carmana, who went by Finn's Vicious on Twitter and was revealed to be the who led QAnon. You know, he did the videos and all that. Young man, diehard Dolphin fan as we are. He passed away tragically. I believe the day before yesterday. Pretty dang sad. Dolphins community all over social media and in the community, they're just heartbroken. And he had a young family. He's very young, 30 years old.
Yeah.
Four children, and he leaves them. We just want to speak on for both of us, Fish Tank. Send our condolences to his family.
Absolutely.
And to his loved ones and the people who are close to him, especially. And I just want to say, what's great about our community is that we come together and we do, to support our own, whatever that may be, no matter how much we disagree, whether you disagreed on Tua or the Dolphins or whatever. In the end, like a family, we come together and support each other. Big E, he was voted best Dolphin fan, with the NFL a couple years back. He's huge presence on Twitter. One of the nicest guys on there. Created a GoFundMe for Eric's family in support of his family. So I just encourage everybody to consider, if you're not, if you can't, that's okay. Send your thoughts, your prayers, your good vibes to his family. But if you could consider, go to the GoFundMe on Big E's page, which is at IAN693. Go to his Twitter account. The GoFundMe is set up there. Consider donating whatever you can to support his young family who now have lost their father and their husband. And Dolphins community has lost someone, a part of their family as well. So just wanted to add that in there, Fish Tank, because I think
yes, sir. Please
support their family.
Absolutely. I went to the site. Some encouraging news for the family. As I went to the site, I think it was either yesterday sometime, and they were at like 5,000. I went on there today and it was like at 20. So everybody people are really putting in the effort for this family. I mean, young 30-year-old. I mean, that's right in the middle of your family time and everything else. I feel so bad for this family.
I do too. And it sucks. That's the most important thing is, it's the family. You think of his children, and that's what's heartbreaking for me. And you know what? And I just pulled it up, and over 703 donations have been made since this has been opened up. And was just, I think, yesterday morning. Out of the $50,000 goal that they have, they're at 24,000. So thank God for Dolphin fans, the Dolphin community, and whoever else has donated. It just shows you how we come together. So I will continue to pray for his family and throw out that link to support them. Again, if you could consider doing that, please do so. All right. As we continue, and we'll touch about that towards the end as well, just to remind anybody who jumps on after. You are watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network with the one and only Fish Tank Hank and Bobby Fins Talk. We'll get on to our Dolphins conversation, and let's just talk about more money, Fish Tank, for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins finally released Byron Jones, and good luck to him, or whatever it holds, if he retires or whatever is going to happen with him. Hopefully his health is great. But that frees up about $13.6 million for the Dolphins. Of course, the mindset goes right to the running back in Minnesota, Dalvin Cook. There's been multiple reports. There was a report that came out that said, they might rework his contract and he'll stay in Minnesota. But the majority of the conversation is no. More than likely, they're going to release him because nobody's going to want to trade. Who's going to, unless you want to get ahead of the line, I don't see any team trading for Dalvin Cook, not because he's a bad player. He's not. But because it's like, look, we know you're more than likely going to cut this guy. We're not going to give you a compensation for him. We'll just wait till he's cut, and we'll see if we can be the highest bidder. Do I think Miami's going to be the highest bidder if it goes into a bidding war? I do not. But I do believe Miami will explore it. I believe that they are ahead of in regards of Dalvin Cook, based off what we've heard, that Dalvin Cook prefers Miami in another team. But I don't think that, for me, I don't think Chris Greer, if it's Buffalo, some other team, and then the Dolphins, and they're going into anywhere, he's like, hey, look, this is my fixed amount, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Because we're good with what we got. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, A-Chain, whatever, and who's been doing very good at camp so far, we're good. But, hey, we could be a lot better with Cook, but we're going to be just fine if we don't. What's your mindset, Fish Tank? Should they still go after Cook right now with this free money? Or would you rather like, hey, man, let's go look at building this line. Let's go look at maybe holding this money for something else that might come to pass. What's your thoughts?
You know, when I think of extra money for the Miami Dolphins in any way, I always think Christian Wilkins. Get him signed. You got a few extra dollars, front load the contract. I don't care. However they wind up doing it. Get him in the building for get him a contract and keep him in the building, in my opinion. Now, can some of this money go to that? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not one of the I don't get into the finances of the NFL that much. But if we have enough money to go after Dalvin Cook, like you're saying, you always have to, like you said, explore it. Now, does that mean that Miami's going full throttle in? I don't think so. I think it's a nice to have thing, and if we're able to pick it up on the cheap or something, I think Miami will go for it. But I don't know what you consider cheap. You know, what's he going to want, 7 to 10?
Oh, I don't know. I can't imagine. He would think he would get that slate in the process. You know,
Yeah.
This is the time frame where players are basically maybe not him, because he is a better player and he's just getting cut. But this is a time frame where if there's players on free agency that you would think would get more money because they're still in free agency. And let's talk like a Kareem Hunt, for instance, who does get linked to the Dolphins, another running back. He in the past, he may have commanded a lot more money, a lot more attention. But because of where this process is now, how close we are to we're only 99 days, Jason Taylor days away from the start of the regular season now. So this is when
I saw that on Twitter earlier.
Yeah, you see that? I like that. See how that fun? So now we're at the stage where contracts are not going to be that expensive. A Kareem Hunt, you could get him on a bargain if you really want a thumper at running back. If you really need to add someone else to that room, you might get him on the cheap. Dalvin Cook might be different. He's going to command an audience. Those other guys on the free agent, remaining in the free agents, they're not. Ezekiel Elliott, for instance. In the day, he would have commanded a big market. But look where he's at right now. He's not commanding anything. So you can probably go to him and go, hey, man, I'll give you 2.5 to play for us this season. And, you're not going to get the same guy. It's not going to be some major thing. But you're getting a player who used to be at his prime at 2.5 because of where he's at.
And you can put him in on third down. You can put him in on that crucial third down, third 1, third 2, third 3, whatever. Get him in there. I would see that's where I'd like to see some of the money go.
But you see what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I like Elliott better than I do Dalvin Cook, actually, but that's just me.
I think you and I
know Dalvin Cook's.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, you're right, and I'm with you. I just think because of what he might be able to bring compared to a Dalvin, because we have speed on offense, and not that Dalvin Cook could add a great element to the Dolphins, and I'm all for it. I'm not against it, but your point, how much is he going to command? What I'm saying is he's just gone the market. There's going to be an audience there. They're going to want him. What's up, Steve? Adam?
What's up, Steve?
Rob?
Adam?
You got, Hammer Time. Everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in as we're talking. That's the wifey talking about my baby face. But
I'm not going to leave your wife out.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, gotta deal with that. But no, my
Pins
point
up
is,
thirsty. I don't think I said
he's
it
gonna
to
command
you yet.
yeah, Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. If you're thirsty for Dolphins content, go to DolphinsThirsty.com. And if you love to talk about the Dolphins, but maybe you don't feel comfortable coming on like a show like ours, you could write about the Dolphins. Just reach
Pins
out to
up,
Rob
hammer
at
time.
DolphinsThirsty.com. And he's on Dolphins Thirsty on Twitter. And I'm sure he would be happy to get you hooked up to start writing about the Dolphins on DolphinsThirsty.com. So, but yes, Fish Tank, why, if it goes into a bidding war, I highly doubt Chris Greer and the Dolphins are going to get into that. If you really want to add another running back in the room, there's still some running backs. They're not in their primes. They're not what they were. People need to get that out of their heads. But they still can add an element to this Dolphins offense that you could say, hey, yeah, back in the day, I may have to pay 10, 15 million for a player like Elliott or a Hunt or whatever. Not anymore. You could throw 2.5 and you still have 8.
You think 2.5 for a Cook or Ezekiel
Not
Elliott?
a Cook. Not a Cook. Not a Cook.
I'm thinking at least $5 million.
Well,
No?
I mean, listen, that's where we're at. I'm just saying that's where we're at in the process. He might be holding out for $5 million, which he should. He's earned it throughout his career. But I'm saying, look, we're paying Jeff Wilson and Mozart about that much right now. That's what we're paying them. So, yeah, right now in this process, other than Dalvin Cook, those other guys, hey, if we really need another guy and you want to try to touch on that market, that's all I'm offering those guys.
That's the question, though. Do we need that other guy?
I think it's the talent he adds to it, and we know where he is. It's like, look, do we need all other circumstances? If you take out the player, it's the same thing as like a Derrick Henry, right? If you add Derrick Henry, who's still in his prime, who with the worst offensive line last year was killing, was just destroying the league, 1,500 yards, whatever, 13, whatever, how much touchdowns, what he was doing with no offensive line. That you go, you know what? Yeah, we have a good sign running back room on paper, but if we add him, we know our offense is going to make a huge impact. With Dalvin Cook, it's kind of the same thing. You go, okay, I know what he can do. I know what he would bring to this offense. Now, if you don't have those guys, then it's like, okay, you know what? We're probably set. But if you really believe we have to add something, there's cheaper options here. Don't forget, Vikings going to want draft capital too. Vikings can want draft capital. No,
but they're not going to get it,
Steve. Yeah, we were just saying, Steve, that the whole NFL knows that the Vikings are more than likely they want to get rid of Cook right now. Supposedly they want to work. They can, if he agrees to a lower cap hit, then they'll keep him. But more than likely they're going to have to cut him. The NFL knows this. The only reason why a team would trade for a Dalvin Cook is if they want to just get him. They don't want to fight everybody else for him. So they go, hey, you know what? We'll give you that 3rd round pick or that whatever pick. Where more than likely teams are looking at the Vikings going, hey, look, I'm not giving you a 2nd round pick. I'm not giving you 2 3rd round picks. Dude, I know you're going to cut them. I would wait and see if I would test my luck in free agency. So more than likely he's going to be cut. It just depends how much you want to spend on him. How much are the Dolphins going to want to spend? 10.6 of that money on Dalvin Cook. Go ahead, Fish Tank.
Yeah. You got all this money back and forth and whatnot. And, I really don't know where else Miami would go other than maybe linebacker or the offensive line. But, we're going to talk about some more things to do with the offensive line. But there aren't a lot of places left to go for Miami to go and get more people, in my opinion. There's the 53-man roster is closing fast.
It is. So this is where I stand on it. Look, I'm not against adding Cook, and I'm bringing up Cook. Everybody knows I really wanted Henry at this in off season, but as we're closing out, Cook looks like more, and I like the option, so I'm not against that. However, if we don't get Cook, I'm not upset. I'm not worried. It's what it is. If we don't get Cook, do I say, okay, now go out and go find someone else? Just use up that money. No, you still have preseason. One of the biggest moves the Dolphins did that impacted their year in a positive way that actually got them into the playoffs besides the Wildcat was when that season back in the day, Fish Tank, we had Chad Henne. We drafted Chad Henne, was the year we drafted Jake Long in the first round, Chad Henne in the second round. And we got our quarterback was supposed to be Josh McCown until the Jets in preseason, after they got Brett Favre, they cut Chad Pennington. So what did the Dolphins do? They signed Chad Pennington. They got themselves a better quarterback. We made the playoffs that year. For me, if you don't get a Dalvin Cook, you hold that money and you wait until preseason and you get those falling acorns. You see which one that you could get that might impact your season. Maybe a linebacker. Maybe a veteran lineman gets cut.
Here's a big question I have for you. When would Dalvin Cook likely be cut?
Well, with Dalvin Cook, it's going to be.
See, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I have no idea.
Yeah, with Dalvin Cook, it's a different story. Dalvin Cook's a different story. Dalvin Cook, if he doesn't agree to a thing, I know they got it. I don't know, it's a self-imposed deadline or whatever. So if he doesn't get traded, he's going to get cut soon, unless he agrees to a reduced deal. My thing is what you were saying. What do we do with that money? I know we could go lineman or linebacker. I'm saying it's like if the Dolphins don't get Cook, I would hold on to that money until when those last 53 cuts, when those cuts start coming down, because a player might get cut who's a decent veteran who lost his job to a thing, and lost his job to a younger guy.
People get hurt.
This guy, that's right. And then you go, hey, look, I could go get this guy. He just got cut, and then you use that money to secure that guy. That I'm down with. If the Dolphins don't get Cook, hold that money until preseason. Wait for that 53-man roster cut that goes down for all the NFL. And see if maybe you could gain a hidden gem or a falling acorn like Chad Pennington back in the day. That's where I stand on it, Fish Tank.
I like it too, Bobby. I'm rolling with you. Right down that train.
There you go. So let's touch on these other topics. We had some topics from last week that I left in our overview because it was still worth talking about.
Hey, Bobby, did you apologize to our viewers yet?
For what? What'd I do?
Being we missed last week and we weren't here, we kind of let them down when we weren't here.
I know.
Did you?
Talked about. I did.
We didn't take a big enough hit though. We gotta take a bigger hit than that. I just wanted to bring it up again and apologize.
Yes, we're very sorry. Again, I did. Rob was worried. Rob called me and messaged me, so I called Rob, and then he was able to fill everybody in.
Wow.
I did announce on Twitter an hour or two before that we weren't doing the show because I was sick. Fish Tank was traveling. We still would have done the show if I wasn't sick because Fish Tank could do it from the car. But I was so sick that I was like, hey, look, I just think it's best we won't do it. I actually deleted the episode after I made it the tweet. So why it was still on YouTube, I have no clue. So my apologies to our loyal viewers, and thank you for sticking with us.
That's
and
all I
wanted to say. If you're just new to the show, like and subscribe. Rob was like, hey, there's a lot of people in that room. Are you guys okay? Are you okay? I said, oh, I'm fine. And I explained to him. He goes, oh, I don't know. There's that. And that's when I found out, wait, the show's still there? And I had to go there, and there were people only, where are these guys? I said, it's Fish Tank's fault. And I walked away. No, I didn't say that. But
of course it's my fault. Who else you got to blame?
I know. Hey, you were talking offensive line. Let's touch on Austin Jackson for a second.
Oh, boy. Let's please touch on this. I'm excited to touch on this. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, and I'm going to let you run with it. I'm going to start it, and you just run with it because we've discussed offensive line. I don't know, Fish Tank, even before the show, but since we started this show, you and I have always talked about the offensive line. And Austin Jackson and Eichenberg are the pariahs. Everybody, every time you bring up their name, the fans there's a grimace. However, this young man has put a lot of work in this offseason. And I mean, if you look at the before and then you look at the after, holy crap, does he look 1,000 times better? He looks in shape. He looks like he's been busting his ass and working hard. We know where this has to translate onto the field. You could look like $1 billion. But if you play like ass during the season, it's not going to matter. But tell me why, Fish Tank, looking at this young man, and we're all praying he does great. First round pick. We want to do it. We want to make it work. We want to, because if he does great, we do great. But tell me why, if you are encouraged by his transformation.
I'm excited. I'm excited. When I saw him, I was like, is that the same person? I'm serious, Bobby. He like did something with another body on him and converted his. Just that alone, the strength that he'll have against players, the fact that he'll be quicker and be able to not get beat around the outside so much all the time. I just think him bulking up like that, and, you know, hats off to whoever got him to do it, all right? Whoever got him to do it and said, look, this is going to be a contract year for you. You need to do something. This is the final set that you get. And you're either going to be able to do it and shine, or you're going to go by the wayside. And I think him getting physical like that is about his health too. He's tired of being hurt all the time. So he probably bulked up a little bit, got a little more physical, so that he's not going to be hurt all the time. I like it. I'm encouraged by it. Just seeing it, I was amazed. I'm pretty happy. Now, can he play better? I think in some areas he might be able to. But that's still, like you said, you know, you could be Man-Rich or somebody like that. All beef, but no bull. So.
Absolutely. It's 100% true. But I'm glad that he took the effort to better himself, better his body. Steve says it was Photoshop. But, you know, he put in the work, and I'm excited for him and his opportunity to prove himself, because we know he knows they did not, unlike Tua, they did not take his option. They declined his option. He's playing for his Dolphins' career future. He's playing to remain a starter in this NFL league. Same thing with Noah Ibenagany, you know, who looks like the odd man out in that secondary.
He's definitely the odd man out now.
Yeah, they definitely have something to play for. Let's talk about something that's going to piss you off. And I know maybe you had a couple weeks to digest it. You know, maybe you feel a little better about it.
Why do you say that, Bobby? Why would it upset me?
Oh, you were coming in like Evander Holyfield on that guy when I saw that tweet come out. You were coming swinging. I was like, God dang, Hank, let the guy, you know. But no, I don't disagree with you whatsoever. But I'm going to let you run with this again. Chris Sims,
all right.
He's releasing his quarterback rankings. Former NFL quarterback Chris Sims is currently releasing, or he has released, his top 40 quarterback ranking, and he had Tua. Now, again, you could think whatever you want about Tua. Okay. You know, I say that, I mean, you could say, is he a franchise quarterback, or is he just a good starter? You can't say he's a bad quarterback. You can't say it has to be one or the other. I'm sorry. But he was ranked 21st, I think 3 spots above what he was last year. The 21st overall quarterback behind Mac Jones. There was other guys there who were ahead of him, Fish Tank, but Mac Jones was the one that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Fair or foul, sir?
Well, let's start with the source.
Okay.
Start with the source, all right? I'm just going to go to the source. Chris Sims, okay?
What's up,
right
King Short?
there. That tells you all you need to know, because he's a hater. Fins up, King Short. Fins up, bro. But
he's a hater.
He's a hater, and it's obvious. I mean, if you look at his 2022 list and how it came out, according to how he had it set, not even close. Not even close. The only one that he had close was probably Mahomes, and that was about it. The rest were not even close. So if you go by what he's saying, Mac Jones is better than Tua, then why was Mac Jones almost gone? See, and Tua, everybody keeps still saying he's staying. We're extending him on his 5th-year option. So the outside rhetoric is okay, but guess what? Inside the building, they know what they're doing. They got something going. And, you know, Chris Sims, if he wants to play blind and be mad because Tua was shorter than him and he still did much better than he did over his 5-6 year career,
There goes
and
the
Tua
uppercut.
did much better in 2 years, hurt than he did in his 5 to 6 year career, have a giant cup, bro. Have a giant cup of shut it.
There's fish tank with the uppercuts. He threw in about the careers. He's like, you're just mad he's shorter than you and having a better career. Well, dang, Hank, gotta come at him all hard like that. Don't get mad at the guy because he has no spleen.
Well, hey, not saying that Chris Sims can't take a hit and all that. I'm not saying that. I'm not cutting out his manhood or nothing like that. But come on, guy, knock it off already.
Knock it off.
It's sad. That's what I have to say about Chris Sims.
And there you go.
And his ranking to a 21st. He's off his frickin' rocker.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how you could do that. I mean,
I
let me see if that list is released. If the full list is released, just need to see the rest. Chris Sims, top 40.
You pulling it up?
I'm gonna try to see if he has it, if it's all completed, because I just need to see. Okay,
that's all right, Bob.
It's not done yet, but here's the guys he has over Tua right now. Of course, Mac Jones is at 20. It's Kyler Murray at 19.
No.
Derek Carr at 18.
No.
Jared Goff at 17.
No.
Ryan Tannehill.
No.
Geno Smith. Russell Wilson.
Maybe Geno Smith, not Russell Wilson.
I mean, if you're going off play last year.
Yeah, Geno Smith. Geno Smith, and it goes Geno Smith and then Tua. At least for deep balls.
He has, I don't know where these other ones are coming from, but okay, here we go. Number 13, Dak Prescott. Number 12, Kirk Cousins. Number 11, Daniel Jones.
No.
So, look, it's not anything against those players, because we could talk about the positives of these players.
Yeah.
They are, Daniel Jones did very good in Brian Daboll's system last year. I like Daniel Jones. I'm not expecting anything from him in regards of what people think he should for the pick he was taken. But, he's not better than Tua. Prescott did not play better than Tua. Kirk Cousins is a very good veteran quarterback. He's a good starter. I think he gets more hate than he should, but he's not higher than Tua. I don't know how you could do that. And everybody knows, more than anyone, I have critiques of Tua. I hold Tua to a certain thing. You know me, I'm not easily pleased. But to say that there's 21 quarterbacks better or 20 quarterbacks better, that's bias. That's like, come on, dude.
I think Tua is close to top 10. Where exactly he sits, I don't know. It could be up the scale a few, down the scale a few. And this year's going to show, though, Bobby. Bobby, this has been the year that you and I have been waiting, chomping at the bit for. We always said by the time either Tua's going to make it or he's going to break it. And when that comes to fruition, when it all comes together and heads up, I think Tua's going to make a breakout year this year, like Tyreek Hill's saying.
Well, and that's what we're going to talk about. That big year from Tua and Tyreek Hill. I said recently, Tua is going to go crazy this season with all of the offensive weapons that he has.
Yeah,
I would hope Tua has a huge year and offensively, because that would be awesome, as like he did in the first at 8-3 before we went downhill. We still made the playoffs, but if he could, obviously having a great year would be great, fun to watch. My main thing with Tua this season is obviously winning games in December and staying healthy as long as he can.
Did you see how much he bulked up?
I did see that.
That's what I'm saying. They have somebody different in the building. Look at Jackson. Look at Tua. Somebody's leading that charge in the weight room and making it happen. So I'm stoked because, like Jimmy Johnson used to say, fear. That's what you're scared of is fear. And what brings on the fear? Lack of conditioning. If you are not conditioned well, you will fear the other man. And I think that's what might have caught up Austin Jackson. And now he might be where he needed to be before. So I'm really hopeful that he does good. I'm sure all Dolphins fans are, though, because
Obviously.
that's who we have.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, if Dolphin fans, whether you're for or I don't want to say for or against, but if you believe in not what he is, a majority of us believe the Dolphins are a legit contender this season, playoff contender, Super Bowl contender, whatever you want to call it. We believe it. Well, if you really believe it and you really want it, you better pray Tua does well this year, and or stays healthy.
I think he will.
Rob says rankings do not matter in my book. Other rankings in the standings after the season, but fun talking points. I think rankings do matter right now because we are talking about from like last season, even before this season. If you watched last season and you watched all the quarterbacks from last year, it does matter when you have two at 21. It does not make sense.
Yeah, that
does not make sense.
The guy came up number one in quite a few categories, and number two.
That's the only reason
others.
why it matters. It matters when it's crazy.
How
matters when it's crazy.
How is it? You got him in the 20s.
Yeah.
He should have been at least 15, in my opinion. Okay, he should have been 15. There are some other players there that weren't above.
That's
him.
a fair number. That's Steve says he has Tua at 12. That's fair. I could see that. That could be, but 21 is like he's on the bottom half.
No,
I mean, come on, dude. Anyway, let's talk about something that I thought actually benefited the Dolphins. The NFL owners last week or the week before approved a bylaw that will allow teams to dress a third quarterback without having to use a roster spot on that player on game day. Last season, the Dolphins were plagued with injuries at quarterback, where at times they only have one active quarterback on the roster on game day because Tua was out, and then Teddy got hurt, and it was only Skylar Thompson. If Thompson would have went down, we would have had to rely on one of the receivers or whomever. So what are your thoughts on this rule? Me personally, I think it's great. You got three quarterbacks on the roster. God forbid Tua goes down, Teddy goes down. You're not relying on some receiver or some random guy playing quarterback. You got Skylar Thompson standing there. What are your thoughts on this new rule?
Love it. I mean, you got to have somebody to back them up. Quarterbacks get hurt a lot in this league. They can go down from a broken finger. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't grip the ball. You can't throw it. So that's why I'm saying, and how many times does a quarterback's hand hit something? Quite a few times probably in a game. So
absolutely. No, I'm with you. I love it. I think it's perfect because of the situation with Miami where, we want Tua to be successful, but we also want him to play more than 13 games, which is what he's done the last 2 years. But more than likely, he might miss a game or two, and if he goes down during a game and then our backup quarterback, Mike White, gets hurt or Skyler, then you have the next guy there. You're not freaking out that, you might not feel as confident with those guys, but you feel better than some random receiver or running back playing quarterback the whole time.
I'm not all that happy with White. I don't know why we went and got him, but hey.
I think we could have got a more capable veteran quarterback backup to be there because, not that we're hoping. I think Tua is going to play more than 13 games. I think he's determined to do that. I think he's built himself to do that. But, I think you would lose a bet if you said he would not miss any games. So why would you risk having Mike White as your starting quarterback at any point during the season?
You don't have to worry about Tua anymore.
No?
No. He's going to do some judo flips to a couple of linebackers, and they're going to slow down.
That's right. You're going to try to get me. Woohoo! Rob has a good point, though, Rob. And he says someone's opinion is all that. He does stuff like this to get attention. If he ranked him number one, does make us better. So, but still, it's true, though. You had him at 21. You put you have some crazy thing like that, you got to talk about it. I know it's OTAs, but Skyler's having the better camp. That's great. So we want Skylar to have a great camp because we might have to rely upon him at some point during the season.
Maybe.
Maybe. But it's good that he is, right? Having a good camp.
Bob,
Yes.
just think healthy, bro. Just think,
I do.
this man he's went from a neck like this big to a neck like this big. I think
King Short says, based off, I guess, Chris Sims rankings, that Chris Sims said it was because Tua doesn't play a whole season, which unfortunately is true so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. But when he did play, and let's say if he did play a whole season, he wasn't going to be worse than those guys. So that's how I would say it. We saw what he did the majority of the season he played. He's not better than those guys when he played. So, but that's understandable. If that's what he was saying, hey, you can't tell a guy how to do his rankings in regards of how he justifies it.
If you actually look at it, the first 2 years, Tua shouldn't even have been on the field. To be totally honest with you, the first 2 years he was still hurt. The first year he was nowhere near had enough strength to be on that field. He had lost a lot of muscle mass, and then you threw him into the NFL. It was a bad time to do it. They should have waited a year or two.
Yeah,
but they did.
First year for sure. First year for sure when they were winning games with Fitzpatrick when Tua was the backup.
That was
they rushed him in there.
Stupid.
And second year is a different story. May have been, hey, if he performed well in camp, let him be the starter, whatever. But first year for sure, I'm with you on that.
The second year, he still wasn't up to par, but in my opinion. But hey,
see, Rob, that's a good point, Rob. You're making my point too. If you put a list out and you put Josh Allen at 20 or 21, damn well people are going to talk about that. So, oh my goodness. But anyway, let me make sure I got everything here. We're at about the 42-minute mark. That's okay. We're having fun. But as we talked about earlier, guys, again, you're watching Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button if you're brand new, whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget, before we get into anything else, before we close it out, support one of our own, Finn Vicious, Eric Carmana passed away, who was behind the 2-and-on videos with the dolphin hat, which was really damn creative. I mean, he made a whole personality. He was very young, passed away at 30, I believe, left there 4 young children. So if you could, please consider donating to the GoFundMe that was built for him, that was made for him and to support his family. It's on Big E's Twitter page, Ian IAN 693. That's his @handle, his Twitter handle. Go there, whatever it is, $5, $10, whatever. If you could, please consider it. If you can't, that's okay. But send your good vibes, your prayers to his children, to his family. They need it. They need it. But yeah, Fish Tank. It's right around the corner. Football season, 99 days, my friend.
Jason Taylor days.
Jason Taylor days. A-Chain is looking very good so far. It is OTAs, but he's looking good. Something to be excited about.
Hey, I forgot to tell you something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I finally finished up my design for my wrap.
For the car?
For the car.
Nice.
I finally finished it. The only problem is the wife goes, "We don't have any money. You can't get it done."
Oh, it was nice while it lasted.
I said, hopefully by June,
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe by mid-June.
Yeah, there you go. Mid-June. Yeah. Hey, you know what? At least you have the plans ready. You know what you want,
Yeah, yeah. And that was the thing. And somebody's like, well, I wouldn't do that to a Corvette. And I'm like, well, I love Corvettes and I love the Miami Dolphins.
And
I'm putting them both together. It's my 2 favorite things outside of my wife, two favorite things in the world to do is something Miami Dolphins and just go for a nice cruise and enjoy myself.
Hey, you know what? And I can understand the person's point of view, but hey, it's your Corvette, man. Your Corvette, baby. You do you. Fins up all the way. You know, that's a little like a pretty ride. Let me tell you something. It will get the attention. People will drive down. They'll see that nice Corvette and they'll go, "Holy crap, that's a Dolphin Corvette." They're gonna think you're a player. They're gonna think you're a player until they see fish. They're gonna go, "Oh," they go lower the windows. They go, "Oh, it's Fish Tank." You see the sign. They'll look you up. It's gonna hook you up, man. I think it's awesome. Crack open that piggy bank, Hank. Make sure it says
Things up. Yeah, I got you.
So besides,
crack open the piggy bank.
That's right.
Easy Bolo. That was true. That was thirsty. Easy Bolo.
Easy to Bolo. That's so funny. Fish Tank, besides the Corvette, any final words, any final talking points before we close it out?
Well, again, if you have the time and you have a couple dollars, try to help out this young man's family if you can. You don't even have to leave your name or nothing. Do anonymous. I mean, anytime I give to somebody, I always do anonymous. So it's not about me. It's about what's going on. So hopefully, and I really truly believe this, Tua's going to be healthy. There's a lot going on. Tua's going to be healthy. Jackson's bulked up. Tyreek, he's already off the chain as far as his health and conditioning. So I think the whole Dolphins staff is getting a different type of conditioning. They've been getting a different type of conditioning. And maybe that's the real reason why they backed off some of those OTAs a little bit.
Yeah. And it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see. I think there's something in the water down in Miami in those facilities.
I think
for life
it's
in
the
the house.
Dolphins.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I've seen some fins. Cat for life in the house. Good to see you as always, my friend. Fins up to you, brother.
Fins up, Cap.
Let me just again thank you all for tuning in for today. We appreciate you. Smash that like and subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. That's Fish Tank Hank, Bobby Finstock. We're both healthy. We'll be here next week. I don't have nothing. I'm still going over cough, but I'm good. I'm here. And I'll be here next Saturday and every Saturday after that. So, as always, Fish Tank, as we say,
Yes, sir.
Like, subscribe,
All right.
and fins up. We'll see
Fins
you guys
up.
next weekend. Later, guys.